My face is in this, so I'm going to move it a little bit. I didn't intend on filming today. I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in on what I've been doing while I was taking my break from YouTube. I have really been using cosplay as a coping mechanism for a lot of things in my life over the past, I almost want to say, since I started doing it. There was just like this huge desire and huge need almost for me to constantly be making something, constantly be working on a project, because I was unable to really deal with what was going on in my life. And I think a lot of us can kind of relate to that, especially, you know, with 2020 and pandemic and all that stuff. We were all kind of just doing what we could to get by. And I think throughout the years, especially from 2020 to 2023, I was really using YouTube and making costumes as like this crutch, as this way to like escape from the world and really just kind of ignore a lot of things that I really should have been doing and really should have been taken care of during that time. And honestly, I don't even really know where I want to go with my YouTube channel going forward. I know that I still want to make videos. I know that I still want to talk about things and, you know, share my experiences with you guys. But I'm also kind of like stuck as well. I enjoy making tutorial content and I enjoy showing you how I make things. However, that's not really why I cosplay or why I do what I do. My biggest thing with cosplay is the creativity of it and all the different ways that you can put together a costume and sharing why you love this character or in becoming that character, and then sharing your fandoms and sharing all of like your favorite things about yourself and then building a community around that, you know? And it's just been kind of hard for me to figure out how to address that on YouTube. One of the things that I will always know that I want to do is that I want to share myself and I want to share things that I'm doing, things that I love, and that's kind of what I want to do going forward. I don't necessarily know if everything on this channel will be cosplay centric anymore. I know that it mostly will be, but there will be things in here intermittently of just other things that I want to talk about. I wrote a Patreon post, and then in the video itself, I said multiple times that I don't really know how to take a break. And in fact, whenever I took the break, I sat down and made a list and basically put at the top of it things I want to do on break. And I only wrote 4 things in here because we all know that, you know, I lose things every once in a while and I just couldn't remember where everything was. Basically, the things that I wrote on here were to just sit outside in the hammock, to sleep more, to take naps, read more books, and make videos that I want to make. And those were the only things that I wrote down physically. Now, obviously, I did a lot more things. I spent a lot of time in the hammock, just kind of sitting out there and like taking breaks and just zoning out and just like watching the clouds go by. Like it's things that I never thought that I could do a year ago. I'm able to do. I'm able to kind of just settle down like that. The thing is that I haven't been completely quiet and completely not making something because I have been working on a costume. I wanted to make this costume kind of not in secret, but I wanted to make it on my own, not really sharing plans, not really, you know, putting it out in the world being like, I'm gonna make this costume and have all the hype around it. I also realized taking this break that I don't know if I'm done with social media, but I need to take a massive step back on social media. I used to spend so much of my day on like Instagram, TikTok, you know, just consuming stuff. And it didn't leave a lot of space for me to have actual like creative energy and to have any thoughts at all, you know? I know I've talked about social media in the past and things like that, but I've had like such a weird connection and weird relationship with it for the past couple of years, especially with 2020. I have always felt negative every time I got off of social media. Like even if I have good interactions, it's like I will be on these sites and just I'll be like on my phone just habitually, you know, instinctively going to these pages and not really absorbing what I'm seeing, you know. And don't be wrong, social media is great. There are a lot of great things about it. In fact, you know, social media is the reason I've met a lot of you guys. It just came to a head and I was like, I don't have the mental energy to do the things that I love. Even things like editing videos and all this other stuff, reading books and playing more video games. I just didn't have that energy because it was sucked away by all of this scrolling that I did on social media. I kind of needed to take a step back and a break for that alone because I've always wanted to just like go kind of cold turkey off of all social media and just kind of stop being on there without announcing it, because I always hate announcing that I'm not going to be on something and then, you know, 2 days later you're back on there, you know. The only reason I did it on YouTube is because I felt like I genuinely needed to share that I was taking a break, because I hear from a lot of you guys that you feel bad about taking breaks, or you feel bad about, you know, working on a project for a while and then halfway through it you like burn out or you don't want to work on it anymore. And I kind of wanted to be that person to say like, well, I 100% am that person too. Like, I started the year working on an Aloy costume, and to be honest with you, I just was not having fun with it. It was challenging, and I knew it would be challenging because it was sewing leather, it was doing all this hand sewing, but I think at the time I was just so overwhelmed with a lot of things. Like, we were going to London, we came back from London, I had jet lag, all this stuff, and I just didn't have the drive to work on that anymore. So I put Aloy on the back burner. That doesn't mean I'm done with that costume or done with that project. I'm just done with it for now, because through this taking a break, I have realized I am someone that's always going to have a project. I'm going to have multiple projects at once, and I'm going to be bouncing between them, and that's just how I work, and that's how I like to work. I ended up starting a new costume because I finished a video game and I fell in love with the character, and I decided to make my own like spin on the character, because the last time that I was feeling kind of really creatively stuck was back in 2017, 2018. I had just gotten better from having Lyme disease. There's always an Aries appearance in my videos, isn't there? Oh, this is the FedEx lady who gives them treats. I forget what I was talking about. This is what happens. I remember what I was talking about now. Back in 2017, 2018, whenever I had Lyme disease, it was chronic. I needed to take like multiple antibiotics and all this stuff to get over it. It was a whole thing. I thought I would never cosplay again, blah, blah, blah. But after I finally got better, I remember being like, I need to make something. I need to make a costume to like prove something, to remember that I could do this. And I ended up making this Aloy costume. The reason I liked that costume was because at the time, that specific outfit, there were like 3 reference photos that you could get of this costume. And to me, that basically meant I had full reign of kind of just filling in the gaps, you know, and kind of using my own creativity to kind of figure out how something would work. And now with Horizon Forbidden West, you can actually get that armor in the game, and I think that's awesome. But at the time, whenever I was working on that armor, I for some reason, it was like I was allowed to do whatever I wanted because there were no reference photos. I know it sounds silly, but that's how I was. And I remember just going crazy and doing all of these ridiculous things to make these bits of her costume that in practice, whenever you're like watching someone do it, you're like, how the hell is this going to end up as a finished product? But I had so much fun making that costume, even though I would never recommend making such a costume in like a month and a half. At the time, that's what I needed, you know? I had to kind of channel my energy and my grieving into that because, oh yeah, also my dad passed away at the same time that I was getting over Lyme disease. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. And you can kind of see why cosplay has become a little bit of something that I channel a lot of my emotions into. Whenever I remembered all of that, I was like, you know what? I want to make a costume based on this specific character, but I don't necessarily want to make her canon costume, if that makes sense. I want to make something that I designed, that I came up with on my own, and that I can just kind of wing it and have fun with. And I have been having a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that I did with a specific build that aren't necessarily done in a fast or like a right way, but I don't care because I'm doing it to do the things that I want to do within the hobby. I had been missing painting. I had been missing doing like hand painting, and I'm doing a lot of hand painting on this armor, and it's a lot of fun. And there were a couple other things that I did throughout the build where I kind of made things easier for myself because I wanted to find the fun again in this hobby, because for so long I feel like I've been doing this hobby out of some like obligation or some innate need to do it. Glad that I did, because I needed something to get by and something to channel myself into. But now cosplay and crafting is kind of taking a different role in my life, where cosplay and making stuff was like my end all be all. If I didn't have time to do it in the day, then it was like, it was not fun. I was not happy. To cosplay is a part of my life, and it is a hobby, and it is something that I do that enhances my life and doesn't mentally destroy me in the process. If you're thinking about taking a break or something like that from a hobby that you've been working at, or some project that's just not getting you where you want to be, take a break. Even if it's just like a day. I say it like this is easy because it really wasn't easy for me to take a break in the beginning. Like for two weeks, I was sitting there like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to relax. I don't know how to just be. You will figure things out. And yeah, so I highly recommend taking a break if you're feeling a little bit stuck. You know, the work will always be there in the end. And the thing that I kept on coming back to whenever I would feel guilty about not working on costumes or not working on something that I felt like I should be doing, instead I was going to do the things that I wanted to do. So, you know, anytime I was thinking like, oh, I really should be working on this costume, or I should be working on that Aloy because I told everyone at the beginning of the year that I was going to work on it, that's not what I want to do right now. And no one else is affected by me not making that costume. I was not happy working on that costume, and it's okay to take that costume and that thing and put it to the side and work on it at another time. Because the reason that I wasn't so into that costume, one, because it was completely new techniques and things that I had not done, and I just wasn't in a space to really be learning and absorbing and also teaching at the same time with videos. And two, this is gonna sound silly, but I'm like not really in the mood to wear wigs right now. And I'm not really in the mood to have a costume where if I don't wear a wig or I don't, you know, do my makeup, that I can't wear it. That's kind of why I really love wearing Bo-Katan, because if there's a day or, you know, a convention that I don't want to wear her wig with, then I just don't. I did that at PAX East because I just didn't want to worry about the stress of having to put a wig on and makeup and stuff before my panel. And I also did that at Fan Expo Philadelphia on Sunday. I didn't wear the wig or anything. I just put the helmet on. I like having options whenever it comes to costumes and different ways to wear them, because every convention I go to or every like event I do, I might be in a different headspace. Like there might be days where I don't want to wear a helmet, or there may be days where like I don't want to wear a wig. And then there are days where I just want to put a helmet on and like kind of just zone out and walk around the floor and have people not really know who I am underneath it, you know? That's the state of the Vault Fox, I guess, and just wanted to put this out here, let you guys know that I'm doing well. Again, appreciate all of the well wishes and things like that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Not all of it cosplay, not all of it like relevant to the channel, but there's a lot of things going on in my life, and I'm just feeling so much better, so much more like aligned and in tuned with what I really want to do. Hopefully you'll be totally cool with me, you know, just sharing as I go and letting you into that whenever I feel comfortable. So anyways, I will shut up and let you guys get back to whatever you're doing. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye guys.